Hey, what's going on, everybody, man? My name's Riley. If this is your first time seeing my face here on YouTube, go and subscribe to my channel and leave a like on this video. Today we're bringing you all the devastating case. We're jumping up to West Virginia, where a woman allegedly, it's not even allegedly, she shot her brother on the head and claiming it was by accident. Now, this is going to be the first time me hearing this and watching this video with y'all. So, y'all stay tuned and strap in. We're just going to hop right in. Let's go. Alright, you guys, for real with this clip, make sure you're comfortable, grab something to snack on and something to sip, and let's enjoy this video together.
Police in West Virginia are trying to figure out what led up to a woman allegedly shooting her brother in the head. She says it was an accident, but police have charged her with murder. I'm discussing the case with criminal defense attorney Jack Rice.
They're grown too, so it's like not some like little kid shit.
I'm Jesse Weber. Deputies in Cabell County, West Virginia have arrested 25-year-old Sierra Harmon over the weekend, charging her with murder in the shooting death of her brother, William Harmon. According to a criminal complaint, a situation unfolded at a home at around 12:30 a.m. Sunday that left William and two other men, including William's father, with injuries. William, though, was pronounced dead at the scene. Now, Harmon told deputies that she had aimed the gun at her brother. She admitted that, but she claims she thought the safety was on. So why would she allegedly do this? Why would she point a weapon? Well, according to Harmon, she did this because she says William was pointing a gun at her significant other, reporting indicates her fiance. And she told deputies that the gun went off. It was an accident. Now, it should be noted that the county sheriff says there was alcohol involved in this incident as well.
What the fuck is going on in West Virginia?
The gun that was allegedly used in the shooting was found in a bush where Harmon reportedly tossed it. And listen to this, 4 spent bullet casings were also found where Harmon was standing, this according to the criminal complaint as well. And deputies also found a gun and 2 spent casings in Williams' vehicle. Sierra Harmon was booked at around 5 a.m. Monday morning. She was arraigned later that day. She is being held on a first-degree murder charge. Cabell County Sheriff Chuck Zirkle told local media outlets, quote, "With West Virginia being an open carry state, it has increased the number of people who carry guns. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's a fact. Sometimes when arguments break out, unfortunately, they settle it with guns." William Harmon was
America, bro. Unfortunately, it's how it is.
Children. His Facebook page is split with guns. William Harmon was a father of several children. His Facebook page is full of photos of him spending time with his family outdoors, doing things like fishing or riding ATVs. He was only just 31 years old.
Wow, man.
Right now, I want to talk a little bit more about this case with criminal defense attorney Jack Rice. Jack, good to see you. Always love having you on. Initial thoughts on this?
It's going to get fascinating, right? Because what we're talking about from Ms. Harmon is she's claiming self-defense or defense of others. This is actually against her fiance. She was claiming that her brother was actually pointing his weapon at him. Now, what that means is it gives her the right to defend herself or defend her fiance as if it were her. Now, the problem is when she picks up the phone, she's actually the one who called 911. She's also the one who said, "I shot my brother." Well, that sure sounds like a confession. So we've got a whole bunch of stuff to sort of tease out here. One of the problems,
she's coming clean.
Yeah, she could admit it. She could say, yeah, I opened fire, but I did it, like you said, in self-defense. So, yes, she's put herself in a corner about, she can't say she didn't open fire. She can't say she didn't do it. But if there's a reasonable argument that she was acting in self-defense,
the fuck this guy looking at, bro?
Not surprised she admitted it.
Well, boy, looking at, bro.
Quit
looking at me like that.
Others here?
Potentially. Here's your problem, though, is that they apparently found her brother's weapon, yes, in that cab, but not necessarily in his hand, right? And so this question is was this something that he had fired previously? Was this something that he was about to fire again? Was this an imminent threat? Did she have to respond? And remember, it sounds like it was his family who was around, including, I think, his father who was injured here. That could be troubling because, let's face it, it's always about witnesses. How are witnesses going to describe this? What are they going to say happened, especially if it was the father of the dead son? So we think about that. Who knows exactly what he's going to do, whether it's going to be Miss Harmon, Mr. Harmon, or I guess senior Harmon, that carries the day.
And if her story about what happened doesn't match up to the physical evidence, like you said, there not being a gun by William's body, that could be very problematic. Talk to me about the idea of an accident, though. So in other words, if and it's almost a little bit like we're talking about with a Russ situation, if she were to take out a weapon, right, and use it to stop somebody from committing a crime, and when I say using it, I mean not actually firing it, but pointing it. So let's take her allegations as true. She was using it to defend her fiance, didn't fire it, and the gun went off. Could she still be charged criminally here, let alone with murder?
Yes, well, sort of. I think that's the complication. Right now, she's charged with first degree. That may be an overstretch anyway, because if we're talking about sort of the ongoing domestic relation of this, both sides have weapons, both sides seem willing to fire those weapons, and this idea of potentially self-defense, whether that's enough or not, the thing is that there may be stages here that may change that. And so what I mean by that is, depending upon those circumstances, even an accident could result in criminal charges, but those might be something closer to an involuntary manslaughter charge.
Yeah.
Something, it's about negligence, gross negligence, rather than a purposeful act.
Let's explore that
like
a little
Rust,
bit, because,
like Rust.
Right, and he's charged in that case with involuntary manslaughter. But I looked up West Virginia law, and correct me if I'm wrong if you saw this, but they define first-degree murder as murder by poison, lying in wait, imprisonment, starving, none of that applies, or by any willful, deliberate, and premeditated killing. Now, my understanding is second-degree murder is anything else that doesn't fit into that category. And then we have manslaughter, right? Based on the current facts we know, does this exactly fit in? Could it be seen as willful, deliberate, or premeditated, or do you believe this is a placeholder? The reason I say that is it possible law enforcement is charging her with this, but then can turn around and downgrade the charge?
Oh, yeah. I actually do. I mean, it's funny. I'm a former prosecutor. I'm a former charging prosecutor, too. So, and this is from many, many years ago. And there are different philosophies on how you handle this. There are sometimes, as prosecutors, what you will do is you will downcharge. You basically say, we're going to fix a problem right here. And if we don't fix this problem, we're actually going to crank them up. We're actually going to charge you far more seriously.
Right.
On the other hand, what you may do is you may go the opposite way and say, look, we're going to come at you with everything we got, but we really do know that, was this willful? I don't know if they're going to be able to prove that. But what they always have the ability to do before you actually seat that jury, meaning before you actually have them sworn in, and actually seated as a jury, you can amend those charges from that first degree to a second degree, to a voluntary manslaughter, to an involuntary manslaughter. All of those are potentials. We're very early on, and I think it's likely we're going to see additional charges that are going to come for Ms. Harmon, specifically because there's a lot of facts here that seem a lot different than she was lying in wait, waiting to kill her brother. It seems much different than that, at least at first blush.
And just to be clear, premeditation, we always talk about it, someone planning, to murder somebody. They buy the materials, they lie in wait. You can form premeditation in an instance, right?
Yes, absolutely. I think that is the difference. I mean, we have that willful piece, and the problem is when I hear the term willful, it sounds like if I intended to kill my brother, for a whole series of reasons, somehow I might be guilty of that first degree. It's a bit more complicated than just simply saying, I've decided to do this. But that concept of premeditation, some people think it could take days or weeks. I'm going to lay out a schematic on how I'm going to do it. You could literally say, I've decided I'm going to reach over and pick up that gun and I'm going to kill my brother. That technically could be enough.
Jack, I want your opinion, though, on this statement from the sheriff. It was made to local media. It said, we're going into some deeper investigations and taking some statements. There was at least one other individual there that we are talking to. We're trying to see how the whole thing unfolded. What does that tell you?
No, it tells me that there's a lot more going on than what we first heard. Again, there was this reference to the brother actually pointing a weapon at her fiance. That really could change this, because all of a sudden, if that were the case, defense of others is an absolute defense. That may change That doesn't necessarily mean she walks, although she technically could. But if there is more to this, if it's more complicated to this, at minimum, I'm seeing this as a voluntary manslaughter charge, because in that case, there may be more to it. Yes, she killed him.
What is
but it was
voluntary
sort of
manslaughter? We're
passion.
talking heat of passion. Explain what that could be.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, sometimes the traditional one we've heard of is if somebody comes home and they find their spouse in bed with somebody else and they just lose it and pull out a gun and shoot somebody. Yes. Is it willful? Yes, it is. But it's done so quickly you don't even realize in that heat of passion. By the way, in West Virginia, that comes with a 3-year floor on time, a 15-year cap on time. That's substantially different than a first-degree charge. I think this is a placeholder time. Wait, in West Virginia, that comes with a 3-year floor on time, a 15-year cap.
3-year minimum and 15-year maximum is what I'm hearing if you kill somebody cheating on your wife or cheating with your wife. It's not a bad fucking deal.
On time. That's substantially different than a first-degree
charge.
That's not a bad deal, chat. I think this is a placeholder. There's a lot more to come, so we'll be watching this one.
Y'all thinking?
I say that, but then remember when I said that there were 4 spent shell casings that were found by the defendant? That seems like a lot, right? If we're talking now about the number of shots, how does that complicate the analysis?
Oh my gosh, if there was just one shot, first of all, it's difficult when she says, oh, this was a mistake. I didn't know that it was going to fire. How do you fire 4 rounds?
And by the way, I'm assuming that's what she's saying. When we talk about what an accident could be, I don't know if she's technically saying the gun just went off, or it's like, this was an accident, this wasn't supposed to happen. Yeah, I fired, but it could be more of a nebulous term about accident.
That's true, but if at least this idea that it just went off on its own, sort of the singular round a la Rust, right? That goes off, although there were more than one round there too. But this idea that if that were to happen, that you're not going to be able to make that argument, that does complicate things. But you know what it makes me think of is think about the New York Police Department when they fired at somebody and they've spent 35, 45 rounds. When you get somebody who is really hyped up and they have seen this, is they'll just pull and pull and pull and pull, depending upon what kind of a weapon they've got.
Right, and that doesn't necessarily negate their criminal liability, but it is something to consider. And when we talk about a self-defense, if you can clear this up, if she was in any way the aggressor here, right? Because we don't know what happened here. There's this allegation that alcohol had fueled this or was somehow involved. Walk us through if she was in any way at fault. If she had started the argument, hypothetically speaking, would that mean that self-defense doesn't work for her, or does it mean she could have started that argument, but if someone else took out a weapon, then it goes back to them as the aggressor? Walk us through that.
Well, what'll happen is she could start first of all, let's pull back bigger. If she's not the aggressor at all and she's the one literally defending herself or defending her fiance, that is an absolute defense. If, in fact, she is the aggressor itself, but then what happens is she walks away and her brother comes at her, now all of a sudden it shifts back. She has the right to defend herself or defend her brother. And so it sort of depends upon, if you imagine a ping pong match, about who's hitting the ball, who's coming at whom with it. And so therefore it depends. I mean, I can think about a case that was happening not that long ago in Wisconsin where somebody stabbed a bunch of kids in the Apple River, and it was a big trial. And what ended up happening was they attacked him first. That's the one. They attacked him first. He walked away, and then he came back. They were the initial aggressors. He came back despite that. He was found guilty because that shifting burden, he was the one who became the aggressor subsequently, and he lost his ability to argue self-defense.
I always find these self-defense cases from a legal point of view quite fascinating because it kind of toes the line, and a lot of the time
petty out there
at a trial, it depends upon the defendant taking the stand and explaining their state of mind and why they ultimately open fire. I wanted to put a bow on this. What is a really, really sad case, as I mentioned. William lost his life.
Prayers go out.
Family man. He was so young.
So unfortunate way to go out, too.
You hear this statement from the sheriff that talked about how West Virginia is an open carry state, and when there are he he was basically saying he doesn't want to jump to conclusions, but a lot of times when there are arguments, sometimes guns are immediately drawn out. What are your thoughts on that?
You know,
If you got it, you're going to
my
use it.
thoughts on weapons is let me put it this way. I'm a former prosecutor. Yes, I've been a defense attorney for more than 25 years, but I'm also a former CIA case officer. I've shot damn near every weapon known to man. And I'm really,
Whoa there,
really,
tough
really
guy.
well
Calm down,
trained
buddy.
in terms of the ability to use them. And it's my experience that the vast majority of people have no business handling weapons because they don't know what to do with them. They don't know how to handle them. They don't know how to shoot in terms of the ability to use them. And it's my experience that the vast majority of people have no business handling weapons because they don't know what to do with them. They don't know how to handle them. They don't know how to shoot them. They don't know how to protect them. They don't know how to control them. And I'm including most of the cops that I've come across in my career.
That's
I
wild,
mean,
bro.
and so as a result, I'm
Dude.
sort of a big believer in.
Dude saying that if you're not James Bond with the fucking gun, bro, don't pick it up. Like, dude, what? Dude, what do you think about like single moms and shit? That, you know, luckily they have a pistol on them because their dad or some shit gave it to them. They have to use it. Like, bro, what the fuck is this guy talking about, bro? It's not used. Like, yeah, people use them in the wrong way. 1,000, 100%. But guns have saved so much lives, it's crazy.
And why
that's
so
the number
many
one
people
lifesaver.
think they have
near.
them, why they need
Besides
them in the
medication.
first place. Because statistically, if you have a weapon,
I'm
it's
wrong.
far more likely that it's going to be used against you than you using it to defend yourself or defend others. And that is a simple and absolute truth.
Powerful words there from Jack Rice, and some startling truth to think about.
You need to go to
Jack,
Joe Rogan
so good to
podcast
see
for that
you.
shit.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Dude's fucking
Always
tweaking.
appreciate your perspective. How great is this guy's energy, right? Do we get any better energy than Jack Rice? I don't think so. But Jack, great to see you. Thanks so much.
Thank you, brother.
All right, everybody. That's all we have for you.
Yeah, that one's definitely got to see how this one plays out. She's claiming self-defense, but she's sitting in the pen right now for her first-degree fucking murder. So that's top of the line. You can't get worse than that. Besides getting 2 of them, so this one's gonna get pretty wild. I don't know how this one's gonna pan out. You know, if it was just 1 bullet fired, yeah, she maybe can get away. But 4 bullets fired. It was a standoff between her brother, her fiance, and you know, the whole story's got to. It's gonna be a long ass trial. Got to get the whole story for sure. It's just how it's gonna be. But this is gonna be just another one of those trials we gotta keep an eye on for y'all and keep posting content about. So y'all go ahead and stay tuned for that. We'll go ahead and roll this outro. Let's go. All right, y'all. We're gonna wrap this one up. If you enjoy this type of content, I'm gonna link a playlist right in the video. It's gonna have all the reactions on there for y'all to check out. We drop a video every single day, all of 2024. So go ahead and smash that bell so you're not missing none of my future content when it gets uploaded. Be the first one to comment on these videos, and you're gonna get a shout out on my new videos. So I'm gonna start doing that. Just a little, you know, little appreciation for all the people viewing this and actually supporting my channel, because we are a brand new YouTuber. So it means a lot for everyone that is supporting this channel and getting me up off the ground. But other than that, we got a little giveaway up for you guys. Once we reach 500 subscribers, we're giving away a couple $50 gift cards. So if y'all want to enter a chance to win some free money, all you got to do is go down bottom of this video, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it for extra bonus points, and you're automatically locked in for the giveaway. Super easy to enter. And yeah, as soon as we reach 500 subscribers, we'll be announcing them winners. So y'all stay tuned for that. We have it live streaming here as well on YouTube, Kick, and Twitch. Links to those channels are going to be down in the description. Y'all go check that out. Very much appreciate it. We're doing a lot of like PC gaming and just pretty much vibing out and chilling. So if y'all want to come tap in on the live, we can maybe even run some games together, then you know where to find me. Go ahead and hit the bell so you don't miss when I go live either. Other than that, appreciate y'all watching. We'll catch y'all tomorrow. Peace.